Hi, everybody. This is Adam Elenbaas from Nightlight Astrology, and these are your horoscopes for the month of August 2019. This is the Sun and Rising sign horoscope for Sagittarius. So the month really gets started on July 31st, even though we don't technically look at the astrology of July to talk about the astrology of August. It's important because the new moon tones the entire month of August, and the new moon happens just before the start of August. So that's what we're going to look at. That's what we're going to look at first. The new moon comes through in Leo in your ninth house, and it is making a series of squares both through the new moon itself and through Venus to the planet Uranus in Taurus in your sixth house. Now, this is an interesting situation because typically aspects between the ninth house and the sixth house will involve themes that have to do with religion, spirituality, higher beliefs, your higher principles or knowledge and wisdom, as well as sometimes travel abroad. Those kinds of topics are all ninth house. The sixth house, on the other hand, was a house typically of strife and hard work and labor, sickness, sometimes sort of suffering service. So it's interesting that there is this kind of, sort of energy. It's kind of a sort of a revolutionary energy in the sixth house of sickness, service, work, labor. And it's really igniting and kind of energizing all of the Leo planets in the ninth house. Typically, that would result in, for example, the feeling that I have to put my spiritual life into some kind of action in the world, to take up arms against ignorance, or to revolutionize your life by studying something new or finding a new teacher, or just kind of having a wake-up call in life, spiritually or philosophically, just the need to kind of awaken and get out of any kind of slump that you've been in. It could be a little bit forceful, rebellious, defiant, a little sudden or unexpected. So you want to be careful that you're not being too reckless or kind of headstrong. There's a little bit of ego energy in this with the Leo emphasis. For example, feeling self-righteous because of something that you feel convinced that I'm in the right here. I'm correct about this. So we get a little puffed up or a little prideful. That could happen this month, or you could be easily triggered by people that you perceive as being dogmatic or sort of cocksure. So those are things to look for. Now, the other thing that's happening is as the month progresses, the theme evolves a little bit, because then between the 6th and the 8th of August, you're going to see Venus and the Sun going through trines to your ruling planet Jupiter in your first house home sign of Sagittarius. This should mean that whatever's happening in the house of higher education, spirituality, teachers, wisdom, etc., is starting to connect with you in a really positive way. And this is good because Jupiter's about to turn direct right around August 11th. So there's some kind of turn of momentum, some positive shift of direction or momentum that's happening for you. It's personal, and it's coming through maybe positive connections, positive relationships that you're making, either that are new, maybe related to learning or traveling, or maybe related to something that you believe in. New positive connections, whether it's to teachers or friends or even lovers or colleagues, that you kind of the feeling of making allies that are on the same page as you, or that are helping you learn something. And this is helping you turn some kind of corner, or maybe recover from a period that's been a little heavy, or help you remove some doubts. So watch for that around the 6th to the 8th. Then get to August 11th through the 15th, and you're going to see Venus moving into a conjunction with the Sun. As soon as that happens, Venus is moving into a position that's called Cazimi. And this is happening right as Jupiter's turning direct. Now, Venus Cazimi is a very empowered moment for Venus. And this is, again, happening in the ninth house. The ninth house was traditionally called God, and it was related to the sun. It was called the joy of the sun. This is a very powerful sort of solar moment where the sun is sort of infusing Venus with enlightenment, knowledge, clarity, sometimes power, fame, visibility, and Venus-related things, love, marriage, friendships, art, sensuality, sexuality, may become quite brilliant and really probably pretty positive stuff happening here. But it's got this tone of being theological or philosophical or political, or it's about learning, or it might have something to do with traveling. But it's a big moment. It's a moment of heart and knowledge and friendship and beauty, and it's sort of probably still kind of hitting that trine to your home planet in the first house, Jupiter. Probably should, again, be pretty positive. I'm excited about August because it just looks subjectively a lot better than July, which was just jammed with tons of difficult transits, especially from the eclipses. Now, when you go to the 15th, you're going to get a full moon in Aquarius in your third house. Now, that opposes all of the planets in the ninth house. There's a kind of third house, ninth house dichotomy. The higher concerns, the higher mind, the higher law, the higher truth. But then, here's the third house where we're concerned with everyday kinds of things. Life in the household, life in your neighborhood, the daily grind, and that immediate environment and the concerns of that more immediate sphere that don't always have the time to be thinking about the greater laws or workings of the cosmos or philosophizing or politicizing or whatever. So a tension between everyday life, the knowledge, values, thoughts of everyday life, and this kind of higher, perhaps even more cosmic sense of truth or faith. And those two things might be in a little bit of an intense dialogue. This may also have something to do with finances. The full moon in the third house is ruled by Saturn, who is retrograde with the South Node in your second house of finances. Well, some kind of conversation about money and beliefs, and it could have something to do, with intimate relationships as well. We say that because, again, we're looking at this full moon pretty closely opposed to Venus. And this is a time where Venus is no longer cazimi, but combust again, recovering from the earlier stage of combustion before the conjunction in a better state. But Venus things are topsy-turvy this month. So you're going to have ups and downs with Venus for everybody. A lot of very positive connections in relationships, but also the potential for issues around ego and pride and, kind of our stubborn personal needs and how they get along with others. This full moon may bring some of that up as well. So that's happening right around the 15th on the full moon. Then when you get later into the month, it just becomes a big Virgo fiesta. Seriously, you've got Mars in Virgo entering your 10th house, followed by Venus in Virgo, followed by the Sun in Virgo, followed by a Venus-Mars conjunction. And then on the 29th, you're looking at a Mercury entering into your 10th house in Virgo. And then on the 30th, you've got a new moon in Virgo. So that's a lot of Virgo energy. Where does that mean? That means from the 18th through the end of the month, and then that new moon on the 30th toning all of September, the focus is really on professional life, your professional trajectory. Virgo energy, especially, it should be pretty good. Mercury's entering in, exalted Mercury, the ruler of that sign, should provide a lot of help. So the Virgo energy in the 10th house has to do with, organizing, being more meticulous at work, maybe the energy of sharpening or honing a craft or skill, something that is the need for greater attention to details. It's very productive. It's very earthy and productive. Can be a little bit perfectionistic, so you have to be careful about that. Also, carrying an opposition to Neptune in the 4th house, the tension between home, family, roots, property, parents, and professional or career-related matters could be a little intense, and maybe some blurry boundaries between the two areas that you have to look at. So that's coming through from the 18th onward. Again, very productive. Be careful of being overly sort of perfectionistic or rigid or idealistic, and both idealistic and potentially getting bogged down in details, and how the details either help the process of your dreams and visions or hinder them by getting too meticulous and perfectionistic. So look for that again from the 18th through the end of the month. Really strong coming through. Great time to reorganize or strategize a new way of doing something. A lot of very careful, crafty energy with Virgo coming through towards the end of the month. Great time to clean or purge as well, the office or something related to the work process. So that's what I've got for you, Sagittarians. I hope it's a great month. Let me know how it goes, and I'll look forward to talking to you again in September. Take care. Bye.